Every 6 seconds, a diabetic dies from complications. It could be someone you love, or it could be you. All because you trusted the medical establishment to have your best interests at heart, when, in reality, they trapped you in a never-ending cycle of more drugs in higher doses. And that's because the $49.4 billion diabetes industry wants to keep you sick and clinging to their side effects-riddled medication, so they can squeeze every last penny from your bank account, leaving you blind, without a leg, or even dead because of diabetes complications. I know how it feels to deal with everyday painful finger pricking and erratic blood sugar levels, feeling exhausted all the time, living under constant fear of kidney failure, heart attack, or coma. Just like I did before a chance encounter put me on the path to discover a shocking diabetes reversing solution, taking my A1C score from 11 to 5.1 in just a few weeks, all while eating my favorite foods, chucking all my expensive toxic drugs in the trash can, and start living my life again. In the next few short moments, you'll get the scientific evidence proving how once you start using this method, you will reverse your type 2 diabetes in record time, incinerating pounds of life-threatening fat, and taking back control of your life. You'll gain a surge of teen-like energy and stamina, save thousands of dollars in prescription meds, and make your doctor and everyone around you scratch their heads, dumbfounded because your near miraculous transformation, especially since what you're about to discover isn't one of the so-called diabetes treating solutions. In fact, what I used is so counterintuitive and so outlandish, most people couldn't believe it. A classified diabetes reversing state secret smuggled out from deep within the Chinese government by a brave researcher fleeing for her life because her discovery had the power to potentially bankrupt the whole diabetes industrial complex, targeting the real culprit behind insulin resistance and revealing to the world a safe and natural way of resetting your pancreas and having healthy blood sugar levels. Something that has nothing to do with your genetics, eating too much sugar, fat around your organs, or anything else you've been told over the years. It's something hidden deep inside your body, smothering your insulin-producing cells and spiking your blood sugar levels, getting worse and worse with each passing day, forcing you to rely on side effect-laced drugs that make you sicker, suffering through the pain of daily finger pricking, turning your fingers into scarred and calloused pincushions, battling ravaging brain fog, and struggling with withering fatigue. Stay with me because in the next few minutes, you'll gain access to highly confidential information and how this glucose blasting solution can help you keep your blood sugar in check and reclaim control over your health and body. The very same solution that Tony from Houston, Texas used to go from an A1C of 7.8 to just 5.4 in just 8 weeks. It also helped Judy from Cleveland, Ohio drop 12 pounds in her first month of using it and stabilize her blood sugar levels at 120 to 130. Ryan from Birmingham, Alabama dropped 60 pounds and no longer needs daily insulin injections or any medication for diabetes, cholesterol, and blood pressure. So, if you desire to finally have normal blood sugar levels while enjoying those mouth-watering foods you always loved, yet you are sick and tired of taking a fistful of medication or shooting up insulin, and you detest the idea of bland and restrictive diets, I have delicious news for you today. Once you add this potent natural blend to your morning routine, it will immediately go to work to dissolve the clog in your pancreas, stimulating your insulin-producing cells, helping you shred all your unwanted fat, revitalizing your whole body, flooding you with a surge of youthful energy and stamina, optimizing your cholesterol and blood pressure, and giving you back control over how you want to live your life. And listen, I get it if you're a little bit skeptical about what I'm saying right now. I'm sure just like me, you've been told there's nothing you can do about your diabetes. You have to live with it, give up your favorite foods, take countless drugs for the rest of your life, exercise until you're blue in the face, and despite your best efforts, you never achieved healthy blood sugar levels because it's not your fault. No one ever peeled back the curtain to reveal the hidden cause of your diabetes. Not your doctor, not the media, and certainly not the medical industrial complex. Who in the last 10 years increased the price of insulin by 1,000%, making billions upon billions of dollars each year off the backs of hardworking, God-fearing folks like you and me, laughing all the way to the bank, while you are forced to count every penny just so you can get the medicine that's keeping you alive. So I truly get how insane it sounds to say all you need to reverse your type 2 diabetes is to take a special mixture of natural ingredients daily when you eat breakfast. I understand because I had the very same reaction when a sweet old Chinese woman unveiled this life-changing solution to me. And in the next few minutes, I'll offer you the undeniable scientific proof behind the success of this blood glucose normalizing formula. And why is it like nothing you've ever seen before? Stick with me until the end, and you'll see exactly who is behind your diabetes woes, and how a certain woody shrub from an obscure part of China can restore healthy blood sugar levels in mere weeks. Now, before we go any further, I think it's only fair to introduce myself and tell you how I came to discover this mind-boggling diabetes solution. My name is Jeffrey Mitchell, and I'm a 55-year-old Army vet currently working as a security consultant for different firms here in St. Cloud, Minnesota. I'm happily married to my high school sweetheart, Laura, and have 2 kids, Susan and Kevin. My diabetes battle started in the fall of 2013. It was right around Thanksgiving when I noticed I was feeling thirsty all the time. I was craving sweet foods like never before, and I was going to the bathroom all the time, even during the night, which made me concerned that something was seriously wrong. So I went to see my doctor. I explained the symptoms, he took some blood, and after a few days told me, "You have diabetes. Here's 4 medications, read the bottles, take them, exercise, calculate your carbohydrates, and I'll see you in 3 months." That was the whole conversation. He didn't take the time to walk me through what living with diabetes actually means, to tell me about the life-threatening complications of this disease. Nothing at all. He just handed me the prescription and bid me farewell. So you can imagine I felt completely confused about what it meant to be diabetic. I Googled what to do when you're first diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. And there was little advice that felt like it applied to me. So I tried to follow the doctor's orders, hoping he knew better and the meds would fix the problem. God, how naive I was back then. 3 months passed and I went to see my doctor again. We did more blood work and my A1C was 10.3. "Looks like you need a bigger dose of metformin and I'm starting you on insulin," the doctor said. "And will insulin cure me?" "Cure you?" replied the doctor, like I said the dumbest thing he ever heard. "No, there is no cure for this. You'll need to take medication for the rest of your life." What? I felt shocked, worried, and frustrated all at once. I felt like someone hit the pause button on my life. And everything seemed uncertain. I felt like I was losing control of what was happening to my body and to myself. I went from a carefree guy to a finicky person keeping track of my meds and insulin shots. I went from loving to go out to eat with friends and family to a reclusive hermit afraid of eating a nice meal. I went from an active and lively person to being plagued by the zombie effect caused by diabetic drugs. The part that frustrated and exhausted me the most was constantly calculating everything, from the carbs I eat to how much insulin I need to take. And as I was about to find out, if you miscalculate, you might end up killing yourself. It was mid-spring 2018 when I decided to take my 9-year-old son, Kevin, fishing. A friend of mine had a cabin near the water, so we stayed there. In the morning, we ate breakfast, and when I checked my blood sugar levels, it showed 223, so I did the calculations and injected my insulin. It might have been all the weariness of the drive up there because, as I would soon find out, I didn't count right. We took the boat to the middle of the lake, placed our lures, and waited for the fish to start biting. After about 30 minutes, Kevin's line started to move. A fish was hooked. "Dad, I got one! I got one!" Kevin started to cheer, excited. He tried to reel him in by himself, but the fish was putting up one hell of a fight. So I got up to help him, and that's when it happened. As soon as I stood up, I started to get dizzy. My vision got so blurry I could barely make out Kevin, who was less than 1 foot away from me. I tried to walk towards him, but all of a sudden, everything went dark. The last thing I remember before I hit the cold water was Kevin yelling, terrified, "Dad, no, wait!" And next thing I know, I opened my eyes to the blinding lights of the hospital room. My vision was still a little blurry, but I managed to make out my wife and daughter sitting by my bedside. What happened?" I mumbled because my mouth was so dry I could barely speak. "Honey, you blacked out, and when you fell into the lake, you took Kevin with you. You must have wanted to grab onto him for support, but he couldn't hold you up." My eyes went wide with dread, realizing that I could have killed my son. "Where's Kevin?" I shouted. "Is he okay?" "Yes, he's fine," answered my wife. "He managed to swim back up to the surface after you crashed into the water." Luckily, one of the other boats heard Kevin yelling and came to the rescue. They pulled both of you out of the water and called the ambulance. "He's outside. I'll tell him you're awake." But before my wife could do that, the doctor came in. "Mr. Mitchell, I see you're awake. We need to talk. You suffered a severe hypoglycemic episode because you took too much insulin. Your blood sugar plummeted to dangerous low levels and you almost went into a deep coma. Also, you got an eye infection, bacterial keratitis. Diabetes weakened your immune system, so you got this bacteria from the lake. Unfortunately, it is a dangerous infection, and if you don't manage to control your blood sugar, you could go blind in a few months." The news hit me like a 10-ton truck at maximum speed. "Blind? He could go blind?" my wife shouted in disbelief as tears were running down her cheeks. "Isn't there anything you can do, doctor?" my daughter pleaded. "I'm afraid not. Only if by a miracle he cures his diabetes and the immune system starts to fight the infection." My wife started sobbing uncontrollably, and it took everything I had not to break down on the spot. I was beyond shocked. I was on the verge of going blind. I felt like my whole world was crashing down around me. Because of my damn diabetes, I almost killed my precious son. And now I'm facing a life sentence in darkness. What kind of life would I live? How would I choose my clothes? How would I wash myself? How would I do anything on my own? Would my family have to babysit me for the rest of my life? Would they have to bathe me, wipe me, feed me? Would they need to put their lives on hold because of me? I felt sick to my stomach just thinking about it. I was the head of the family, the man of the house, the rock my family depended on in times of need. I survived war, bullets, and bombs just to get robbed of my sight by something like this? Imagine being struck with news like this. Imagine knowing that soon you won't be able to admire your wife's beautiful smile. or enjoy the breathtaking scenery our great nation has to offer, or watch your favorite team play, or see your grandkids. You won't even be able to move around your own house without help. You won't be able to ever play with your grandkids. You won't be able to help around the house. All you could do is sit there alone, staring aimlessly into darkness, while your loved ones turn their lives upside down because I couldn't accept it. If it came to it and I lost my sight, I vowed I would end things on my own terms. I wouldn't end up a heavy burden on my loved ones. However, by the grace of God, none of this came to pass, all because of a chance encounter with a sweet old Chinese lady. Now, before I go any further, there's something I need to share with you. For reasons you'll soon discover, I have to keep her real name a secret, so I'll just call her Mary. A few days after the shocking news, I was out in the hospital's garden still trying to process everything. I mean, we live in the greatest nation on the face of the earth. We're supposed to have the best healthcare system in the world. Yet people are getting their limbs hacked off and dying because of this insidious disease every day. Why are you looking so depressed? I heard a voice ask me. I looked up and saw this Chinese lady with a walking stick, plain clothes, but a big smile on her face. Why are you looking so down? She asked again. Seeing that she insisted, I started to tell her my whole story. How despite my best efforts, I was still stuck on the blood sugar roller coaster. How this debilitating disease almost led me and my dear boy's death. And how now I was on the verge of losing my sight, being sentenced to darkness for all my life. When I finished, she looked at me with the same smile on her face and said, I can help you avoid that future. My eyes went wide, shocked about the confidence in her voice. What do you mean? How? I frankly asked. And then she started telling me her story. Her name was Mary, and she was a Hui Chinese endocrinologist researcher who fled China back in 1987 for fear of being killed. You see, Hui Chinese are literally being hunted down by government agents because of their religious beliefs. But in Mary's case, this was even worse because she was the head of the endocrine research department at the leading research facility in the Gansu region, with multiple breakthroughs in improving kidney functions, cleansing the liver, and kickstarting metabolic functions. Yet the one that put her in the crosshairs of the Chinese communist regime was cracking the code on what actually causes diabetes. While she was researching why the Hui have the lowest known rate of diabetes, Mary discovered diabetes has nothing to do with how much sugar you eat, being overweight, or genetics, but it has everything to do with a rogue substance that makes it impossible for insulin to reach into the bloodstream. Yet when she wanted to publish her findings in international papers, the Chinese Communist government classified her work as state secret and confiscated all of her research. Because she was Hui, she feared they would silence her for good, so she fled to the US hidden in the cargo hold of a ship. When she got here, she wanted to keep a low profile, so she became a holistic healer, using her knowledge to develop natural remedies for everyday folks that wanted a safe alternative to mainstream medication. Why didn't you go with your findings to the pharmaceutical companies or the media? I asked after she finished her story. Most of the pharma companies get their diabetes drugs from China. I was afraid that if I went to them, the Chinese government would know where I was and come for me. They would do that over some diabetes research? I asked, shocked. Yes, she replied with a serious and grave tone. Because you see, Jeffrey, if my research was made public, it could potentially bankrupt all the diabetes drug companies, which would mean a big financial blow for the Chinese government, since all the diabetes drugs are made in China. And as you've probably seen in the last few years, when it comes to containing a situation, the Chinese government doesn't shy from anything. I couldn't believe my ears. However, the more I thought about this, the more it made sense. I mean, we all saw how they dealt with the health crisis that hit us all over the last few years. Locking down whole cities, welding shut apartment doors, trapping people in an IKEA, scientists mysteriously disappearing for going against the grain. So going after someone that could torpedo their diabetes drug cartel made sense. So what exactly did you discover? Tell me more about that rogue substance, I asked. It's something that I call cell clogging. Cell clogging happens when a rogue protein-like substance, known as amyloid, latches onto your pancreas, disrupting insulin production and making it near impossible for insulin to reach your bloodstream. Think about this like limestone builds up in your sink or shower. The more limestone there is, the harder it is for water to flow, and if left unchecked, the water will stop flowing altogether. Well, these can't be real. I've never heard of anything like that, I said. Then she showed me a brand new study performed by a team of scientists at the University of Leeds, which came to the same conclusion as her, yet were completely ignored by the medical establishment. She even showed me a study that proved if amyloids travel to the brain, it can cause Alzheimer's disease. No wonder diabetes increases the chance of getting Alzheimer's by 65%. The very same thing that causes your pancreas to shut down is also responsible for triggering Alzheimer's disease, which scientists are now referring to as type 3 diabetes. You see, Jeffrey, the pharmaceutical conglomerates don't want this kind of information to make its way to the public. For them, a patient cured is a customer lost. So they focus on masking symptoms and giving out band-aids instead of actually fixing the root cause. It's the same as hiding the check engine light under duct tape when it comes on. You're not going to see it anymore, yet the light is still on and your engine still isn't fixed. Most doctors are in on the scam as well because big pharma companies give them stacks upon stacks of cash to prescribe those drugs, even though they know full well they will do nothing to actually help you. Then she showed me a 2008 study published in the prestigious English Journal of Medicine, which flat out proves that the more you take drugs to keep your blood sugar low, the greater you're at risk of developing hypoglycemia, heart disease, going blind, or other life-threatening conditions. This proves trying to lower your glucose levels by relying on drugs and insulin shots is leading you down a path where you can end up with more complications than a person with higher blood sugar levels. Like landing in the hospital with serious hypoglycemia in a deep coma from which you may never recover. The revelation made my blood boil. The medical industrial complex makes a killing off the suffering of folks, just like you and me, who wants to live a normal life, who wants to eat their favorite foods without worrying about blood sugar spikes, who wants to be there for their loved ones for as much as God will allow it. And instead of healing you, they're lying straight to your face, knowing that none of their so-called treatments will actually help you reverse your type 2 diabetes. Instead, pumping you full of drugs that make you sicker and sicker, until your body starts shutting down and you end up with a limb chopped off, going blind, on dialysis, or in an early grave. But you don't have to worry anymore. All of that ends today. Because as you're about to discover in the next few minutes, there is a natural and highly effective way of scraping off all that amyloid which clogs up your pancreas, reverse your type 2 diabetes, and start living a fulfilling and worry-free life once again. You see, Mary didn't just peel back the curtain and reveal the true cause of diabetes. She also knew a way to fix it. She developed a natural solution that acts like a 1-2 punch on your diabetes. First off, it dissolves all the amyloid deposits on your pancreas, which have accumulated in so many years of illness or neglect, releasing it from the chokehold so it can start working properly. And second, restoring normal insulin-producing functions and flushing all the excess sugar out of your body, thus allowing the body to function normally from now on. The doctor's certainty, coupled with her background, amazed me. And after sharing all the information with me, she reached into her pocket and produced a vial with a tincture-like substance inside. She gave it to me and said, "Add a few drops under your tongue or to your favorite morning drink. You need to take it each morning for it to start working. When you finish it, come see me. Here's my address." Still trying to wrap my brain around the bombshell Mary dropped on me, I reluctantly took the vial and thanked her. I went to my room and added a few drops to my water, drank it, and lied down to get some rest. And I have to say, nothing could have prepared me for what happened next. When I woke up the next morning, I felt something was different. And while my blood sugar levels were still the same, as they always were, the usual brain fog wasn't there, and I felt a little more energetic than I usually do in the morning. So I did what Mary told me to do. Take it each morning. After 7 days, I almost fell off my bed when I saw my morning blood sugar went from the usual 180 to 200 to 145. I never had numbers that low in the morning. Not only that, but my vision was as sharp as ever, and I had more energy than I had in years. The pounds started to drop quickly and the infection disappeared. Now, I'm a regular churchgoer. However, I never in my life thought I would witness something as close to a miracle as this. To go from almost losing my life and my sight because of diabetes to walking out of the hospital diabetes-free, full of energy, and with perfect sight. My blood sugar levels left my doctor scratching his head trying to figure out how it was possible. The vial Mary gave me lasted me another 12 days, and by the time I finished it, my A1C went from 10.7 to 7.3. So as you can imagine, I made a beeline for Mary's place. "What's in this?" I asked Mary with excitement in my voice. "My numbers are the best they've ever been, and I feel like $1,000,000. I even ate 3 slices of pizza last night, and my blood sugar went up just to 152. Before, if I ate even 1 slice, it would shoot up to at least 190. "It's a special blend of natural herbs and ingredients that the Hui use in their traditional medicine and diet," she replied. "My research uncovered that they supercharge your immune system with the ability to dissolve all the lumps of amyloid from your pancreas, just like a cleaning agent would dissolve limestone residue from your sink or shower." Then she gave me 3 more vials. "These are the last ones I have, and it will take at least 3 months before I have more. Because the ingredients are hard to find and the process of creating this takes a lot of time and effort." Hearing that made me realize how valuable the small vials she gave me truly was. So I insisted to pay for the vials. However, Mary wouldn't hear of any of it. I had to practically twist her arm to accept my help in covering the expenses for the next batch. After that, I thanked her, drove home, and continued taking the tincture. After 4 weeks, my blood sugar was constantly at around 125, my mood and energy levels skyrocketed, and I went down 17 pounds. After 7 weeks, glucose levels stabilized around 100, and I felt like a new man. I would wake up in the morning fresh as a daisy, excited to start the day in full force. I would play with my son for hours on end in the park and didn't feel winded at all. I dropped another 27 pounds, and for the first time in years, I could actually see my abs again. I even stopped taking any of my meds, and the infection disappeared by itself. Best of all, I could eat all my favorite foods and my blood sugar would still be normal. I was over the moon with joy. It felt like I had been giving another lease on life. I never dreamed such a transformation was possible. Now I could actually see myself grow old with my wife, be there for my family, see my son grow up and dance at his wedding. I could finally take my wife on that European tour she always dreamed of. My confidence and vigor came back in full force. I could make plans for the future instead of taking it one day at a time. All my friends and family told me that I was radiating happiness and health. Then, when I did check up 90 days later with my doctor, he nearly fell off his chair. He even ordered another batch of tests because he thought someone botched the first one. However, the second result confirmed it. Mr. Mitchell, your A1C is 5.1. You are technically non-diabetic. In fact, your test results are better than a healthy person. Everything from your blood sugar to your cholesterol levels are in the green. I haven't seen anything like this in all my years. How did you do it? I just told him it's a secret, winked, and left his office. I wasn't about to tell him about Mary and her near miraculous solution, because the last thing I wanted to do is tip off the medical establishment about a natural way of reversing diabetes. However, I knew the positive impact something like this would have on the lives of millions of diabetics who are still stuck on an endless downward spiral of erratic blood sugar levels, taking drugs with a laundry list of side effects, getting sicker because of them, dealing with the ever-increasing financial burden, and watching as they lose more and more control over their body and life. So I went straight to Mary's place to convince her to make this available to everyone who needed it. At first, she was very reluctant, and I couldn't blame her. It could potentially paint a big target on her back, and the last thing I wanted to do was to put her in harm's way. But I came up with a better idea and managed to convince her to first set up an awareness campaign for it, and to change her name to protect her identity. She agreed, and we started getting the word out using my story and others of her case studies, like Stephen. When he met Mary, he had an A1C of 11.2. His blood pressure was 201/100 and his cholesterol 270. After 6 months of using Mary's mixture, his A1C was 5.7, cholesterol 130, blood pressure 107/78, and he even dropped 60 pounds of suffocating fat. Something similar happened to Julie. She was diagnosed with diabetes in her late 40s with a blood sugar level of 385. It took 7 months of taking this natural solution daily to drop those numbers down to 115, all while she stripped off 50 pounds of unsightly fat from her trouble areas. Or Terry, who before using Mary's special diabetes reversing elixir was taking insulin, metformin, Januvia, Lipitor, and Diovan. All it took was 5 months for him to drop his A1C to 5.3 and ditch his medication. The awareness campaign went viral and everyone wanted to know about our diabetes reversing solution. However, there was a problem. The creation of this one-of-a-kind mixture is a very delicate process that takes weeks on end to complete. Plus, we need large quantities of highly potent, pure-grade ingredients, which are expensive and hard to come by, especially Eleuthero, a small woody shrub which has been used in Chinese medicine for 2,000 years, which a 2011 study proved it can melt the amyloid deposits clogging up your pancreas like ice cream in the scorching desert heat, all while greatly lowering fasting and post-meal blood sugar levels. Plus, this one single herb is so potent it can turbocharge your immune system, ramping up the healing process and even preventing diabetic foot ulcers from forming. Then we have maca, which shoots up insulin distribution in your body and makes your cells more sensitive to insulin. In fact, a 2007 study showed maca is so efficient at flushing excess sugar out of your system, you could be on a sugar-rich diet and still see significant improvement in your glucose tolerance and your blood sugar levels dropping to normal levels. Plus, participants in that study also saw their bad LDL cholesterol, total cholesterol, and triglycerides lowered and their heart health improved tremendously. The mixture also contains astragalus, another staple of the Chinese herbal anti-diabetic treatments, which is proven to optimize blood sugar levels after fasting and meals. The next ingredient is African mango, which dials insulin production up to 11, lowering your plasma glucose levels within 2 hours after taking it. Also, in order to ensure your heart is ticking like a finely tuned Swiss watch, guarana seed extract is added to the mix. This exotic plant has been proven to drop bad cholesterol levels by 27% while improving blood flow and preventing blood clots from forming, which is vital for you because 65% of diabetics die from some sort of heart disease or stroke. Imagine being able to dodge that bullet. Plus, guarana has the added benefit of kickstarting your fat incinerating furnace, allowing you to burn more calories even when resting comfortably on your couch after a delicious meal. Next, it's forskolin, which a 2014 study published in International Journal of Medical Science showed participants taking forskolin for 8 weeks drastically decreased their fasting glucose levels. And that's not all. Forskolin has been proven to shield you against kidney disease, which affects 40% of diabetics in the US alone, especially when you pair it with monoammonium glycyrrhizonate, a Chinese medicinal plant proven to restore healthy kidney functions. Then you can rest assured you'll never have to worry about being hooked up to a dialysis machine for the rest of your life. And remember how I told you I was on the brink of losing my sight? Well, my blurry vision went away in a matter of weeks after I started taking this mixture. Mostly because the Vitis vinifera, a unique woody vine that grows in remote areas of China when the soil is rich in nutrients and minerals. Not only does it stop your body from absorbing excess sugar from the foods you eat, ensuring most of it gets flushed right out of your system, leaving you with healthy blood sugar levels, it actually restored normal eye function by suppressing neurodegeneration, meaning your vision will improve and your nerves are protected against future damage, allowing you to live your life without worrying about going blind because of chaotic blood sugar levels. Now, you see why with such a hefty list of highly impactful diabetes reversing ingredients, we were hard-pressed to come up with a way to keep up with the ever-growing demand. So in order to make sure everyone who wanted it could get it, we scoured the country for a cutting-edge FDA-registered manufacturer who could not only help us produce this diabetes-reversing formula, it could also help us get high-quality ingredients from certified sources. After 5 weeks of painstakingly researching and vetting companies, we finally found one that met our standards. All that was left now was to give this incredible diabetes-reversing mixture a name. We decided to call it Amiclear, the only natural diabetes reversing drops created with ingredients scientifically proven to give you healthy blood sugar levels and razor-sharp insulin sensitivity. Amiclear has been responsible for this near miraculous transformation in countless men and women all around the globe. Folks just like you, who decided it's time to snatch back control over their body and life, who are adamant about turning their lives around and start enjoying the things they loved once again. Folks like Jessica from Crawfordville, Florida, who said,
"This was something I didn't think would work so drastically. The results do not lie. Before I started, my blood sugar was 399, and in just 2 days of taking it, it dropped to 249 without being restrictive in my diet. Now, after 3 months, my numbers are between 120 and 135, even when I eat more carbs. Amiclear is truly amazing. I would definitely recommend this to every diabetic who wants to lower their blood sugar levels. Thank you, Jeffrey, for sharing this with us."
And here's Frank from Seattle, Washington saying,
I started using Amiclear a couple months ago. I was on metformin, but no matter what I did, diet, exercise, and more, I couldn't get my sugar levels down past 200. I was worried I would have to go on insulin. After using Amiclear for around 3 weeks, I noticed my glucose levels have stabilized between 90 and 120. I try to watch my diet and exercise, but sometimes I do treat myself, and when I do, my levels don't spike anymore. This is great.
As you can see, Amiclear is a game changer when it comes to getting healthy blood sugar levels. Not only because of the highly potent and scientifically backed ingredients, but also because of its unique delivery mechanism. We kept the mixture in liquid form for 2 reasons. First, because this way the ingredients get absorbed much easier into your body, getting to cleanse your pancreas of all the destructive amyloid in record time. And second, because I knew from personal experience that after taking a fistful of pills for what seemed like an eternity, the last thing I would want is to take something in pill form, even if it would trigger a near-instant system reboot of your insulin production, while lowering your blood sugar levels to that of a healthy person. Imagine seeing the numbers going down each and every day until they stabilize within healthy range, even when you indulge yourself. How relieved and ecstatic you feel when you finally get your A1C results and they are under 6, and watching the dumbfounded expression on your doctor's face while he tries to make sense of your amazing transformation, the peace of mind you have to take your foot off of the brakes and start living your life to the fullest once again, being totally comfortable with the food choices you make without worrying about your numbers, being able to go about your day without stopping to test your blood sugar levels, being able to be there for your kids or grandkids and being an active part of their lives. Revel in the joy and excitement your loved ones will feel when they see you filled with a new thirst for life, resurrecting your life goals before your diagnosis and going after them at full speed. You have to admit, this feels like a godsend, something others would be willing to pay any price just to get the peace of mind you now have. Because like you, they're sick and tired of feeling captive to their blood sugar levels, putting themselves through hell by taking side effect laced drugs, dealing with the pain of pricking their fingers dozens of times a day. eating bland and unsavory foods, living in constant fear of having their limbs chopped off, being robbed of their sight, or ending up in an early grave, missing out on the best things in life, all because their blood glucose may go haywire. I've been in the very same spot you're in right now. I experienced firsthand what diabetes does to you, how it eats away at your soul, how it robs you of your joy and lust for life, how it threatens to take you away from your loved ones. However, I was lucky enough to have a ray of hope from above shine down on me. And because of this blessing, I feel it's my mission now to share this diabetes reversing miracle with you. Because I want you to feel the same joy and peace of mind me and thousands of other people feel every day, to relish in your new diabetes-free life, to be there for your loved ones, to radiate youthful energy and vitality, to start living a wonderful and exciting new life. What would you give for all of this right now? What would a fair price be to transform your life completely? To go from struggling to keep your blood sugars in check, to enjoying healthy levels even when eating your favorite foods, to go from feeling fatigued all day to feeling like you're in your 20s again, to go from dreading to check your blood sugar levels in the morning to never having to deal with pricking your finger ever again, to go from taking a list full of drugs every day to throwing them in the trash where they belong, to go from a strict diet of tasteless foods to mouth-watering dishes anytime you crave them. And listen, it's not your fault you haven't been able to reverse your diabetes. The pharmaceutical industrial complex makes $49.4 billion a year on the backs of folks like you and me, feeding us lies and charging us an arm and leg for drugs, insulin shots, blood sugar monitors, strips, and the rest. Remember what I said earlier? The price of insulin went up by 1,000% in the last decade alone. The medical establishment has only one goal in mind: to keep us sick because they can control us and fleece us for all the money we have. They're not in this to actually help you and me. All they want is for us to keep pouring our hard-earned cash into their deep pockets so they can continue to enjoy their multi-million-dollar mansions, fast cars, fancy yachts, and extravagant lifestyles. That's why I decided to stick it to them. I provide you with a real solution that will reverse your diabetes while slapping the greedy hands out of your pockets. And while I could have easily charged $1,000 for Amiclear, especially since you take into account our ingredients have ultra-pure grade potency, exclusively sourced only from GMO-free certified manufacturers. It's soy-free, dairy-free, and gluten-free. And it's made right here in the US under strict supervision in an FDA-registered facility that has the GMP, Good Manufacturing Practices, stamp of approval. And while some diabetics offered me $500 and more to get their hands on Amiclear, I'm not going to ask you for that kind of money, or even the regular price of $297 a 1-month supply of Amiclear would normally cost, which many of our customers were more than happy to pay because of the results they experienced. Reversing type 2 diabetes, feeling blessed and in control of their bodies, enjoying a surge of teenage-like energy and stamina, spoiling themselves with their favorite foods while still keeping normal blood sugar levels. It will kill me to know you missed your shot at a new life because of this price. I'm not in this to make money. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm on a mission to offer this godsend to as many people as possible. And that's why I'm going to do something a little bit crazy today. Help me fulfill my mission and let me bring joy and happiness into your life by offering you a great deal on Amiclear today, so that you can experience the same near miraculous results I and thousands of other men and women have, so you can finally get rid of your diabetes, so you can inspire others and spread the word. And maybe together we'll be able to have a positive impact on the lives of countless others all across this nation and beyond. That's why you can invest in your long, healthy, and happy life for only $69 per bottle. That's $2.95 a day, less than what you pay for a coffee at your local coffee shop. However, that's not all. There is a way to get Amiclear for the cost of a few pennies per day, because most of the human clinical studies prove that once you take the ingredients inside Amiclear for a period of at least 180 days, the compound effect they have on our body scrapes off every last bit of amyloid, so you never have to worry about your diabetes coming back ever again. So it's no wonder so many people are ordering Amiclear in bulk. Not only because they want to enjoy healthy blood sugar levels even when indulging in delicious foods, they also want to share this with their family and friends. And because of the added benefits of like transforming your immune system into a Delta 6-like special ops team, taking out anything that may make you sick, setting ablaze your fat-burning furnace so you can see excess fat melt faster than butter under the Arizona summer sun, flooding your system with so much energy youngsters would have a hard time keeping up with you, gaining razor-sharp focus, keeping you alert and present in the moment throughout the day, experiencing blessed peace of mind knowing your health is fortified like an impregnable fortress. That's why we decided to create special bundle packages that offer even bigger savings. So if you order this 6-bottle package right now, you can get it as low as $49 per bottle. So click on the 6-bottle package or the package that's right for you below to secure your order. Once you do, you'll be taken to our 100% secure 256-bit encrypted checkout page that looks like this, where all you need to do is enter your regular details and complete your investment today. Once you do that, your order will be priority shipped to your front door in a few short days. Plus, you get free shipping with the 3 or 6 bottle packages. Look, in this day and age of over-the-top promises and underperforming solutions, it's natural to be a little skeptical. And while I peeled back the curtain and shared with you my intimate and embarrassing story, and you've seen all the scientific proof that proves beyond a shadow of doubt the efficiency of Amiclear's ingredients, and you've seen the jaw-dropping transformation of so many folks who already bought Amiclear, I want to make 100% sure you have peace of mind when getting your stock of Amiclear today. I want to take all your worries away and give you unshakable confidence you will not only reverse your type 2 diabetes, you'll never have to worry about it again. So much that I'll shoulder all the risk. Sure, when you think about it, $49 per bottle is cheap, especially when compared to those toxic drugs your doctor keeps pushing on you that will never help you reverse your diabetes. Still, fair is fair. So I want to give you absolute confidence you're making the right decision today. Here's what I'll do. Try Amiclear on me for the next 60 days. Experience what it's like to see your numbers go down to normal levels while you enjoy all the mouth-watering foods you desire. Witness the jaw-dropping reaction of your doctor as he does a double take at your A1C results. Relish the joy of having teen-like energy and stamina to keep you going the whole day. Then ask yourself these 3 questions. 1. Am I seeing my blood sugar levels going down to healthy levels? 2. Do I feel healthier and happier? And 3. Isn't this the most effective diabetes reversing solution ever? If you don't have a yes to all 3 of these questions, send me an email and I'll refund every penny of your investment within 48 to 72 hours. And you don't even need to return the bottles. Consider them a gift and we'll part ways as friends. Doesn't that make you feel more confident? Knowing there's nothing to lose and everything to gain. So go ahead and choose the 6-pack, our most popular option, or any of the options that fits you below right now. However, act now because our supplies are limited, and we ran out of stock before. And it takes 3 months to get a new batch of Amiclear. Not to mention that with the way supply chains are working right now, it might be 6 months or more until we'll be able to have our stock refilled. I firmly believe God helps those who help themselves, so the time to act is now. Your happiness, health, and life are in your hands, and you have to decide what you want to do. Do nothing and continue taking drugs that will only make you sicker. Feeling frustrated, you need to prick your fingers tens of times a day to check your blood sugar levels. Never be able to enjoy any delicious foods because it will spike your glucose. Feeling winded just after a few minutes of playing with your kids or grandkids. Living in constant fear of life-threatening conditions that may rob you or your loved ones of precious moments with you. And dreading seeing any cuts or bruises on your legs that may land you in the chopping block. Look, if you've made it this far in the video, I'm willing to wager that's not the life you want for yourself anymore. You know it's time for a change. You want to transform your life into one where you wake up in the morning, carefree, excited to start the day without needing to check your blood sugar levels. Smile from ear to ear as you indulge in foods you never thought you could eat again. Feel reassured you'll be around to see your kids and grandkids grow up and be an active part of their lives. Experience a surge of newfound energy to help you keep up with even the most demanding schedules. All because you made the savvy choice of getting your own stock of Amiclear today. So choose your pack below right now. And remember that your decision today is covered by my It Works or It's Free 60-day 100% money-back guarantee. Remember, you can keep all the bottles you ordered, even if you ask for a refund. So this truly is a no-brain deal, am I right? We're approaching the end of our time together, so I leave the decision in your capable hands. However, I trust you'll make the smart choice by clicking on one of the discounted packages you see below this video right now and placing your order. Keep in mind that Amiclear is not available anywhere else, and these prices are available today while supplies last. With the current state of the world, we've seen a steady increase in the supply chain costs. So I honestly don't know if we'll be able to keep the prices so low for much longer. This may truly be the last time you can get your stock of Amiclear at such ridiculous discounted prices. So grab a 90-day supply or 180-day supply of Amiclear right now while you still have a chance. I would hate for you to come back later and see that your opportunity to start the transformation of a lifetime has vanished into thin air. So do it now while we are still in stock. I'm excited for the results you'll experience, and I can't wait to hear all about it. I thank you for taking the time to listen to me and watch this presentation to the end, and I look forward to hearing about your stunning success with Amiclear. God bless. Jeffrey. Still there? If so, it probably means you have some questions about Amiclear, so I'll go ahead and answer them. Can you explain what cell clogging is again? Cell clogging is the root cause of type 2 diabetes. It happens when a rogue protein-like substance called amyloid swarms the pancreas and makes it impossible for insulin to reach the bloodstream. Think about this like your limestone buildup in your sink or shower. The more limestone there is, the harder it is for water to flow, and if left unchecked, the water will stop flowing altogether. Drugs and insulin shots do nothing to address this problem and are band-aids meant to deal with the symptoms you experience because of cell clogging. It's the same as hiding the check engine light under duct tape when it comes on. You're not going to see it anymore, yet the light is still on, and your engine still isn't fixed. That's why Amiclear works like gangbusters, because the natural ingredients found inside have two main functions. Dissolve all the amyloid deposits on your pancreas, restore normal insulin-producing functions, and flush all the excess sugar out of your body. Will Amiclear work for me? Like I mentioned earlier, Amiclear contains only premium quality natural ingredients, sourced from certified manufacturers, and painstakingly tested to ensure they have the highest purity and potency available anywhere on the market. Plus, it's made right here in the great US of A, under strict supervision in an FDA-registered facility that has the GMP, Good Manufacturing Practices stamp of approval. However, we do recommend that you consult with your doctor before including any dietary supplement into your diet, even if this groundbreaking formula can help you reverse your type 2 diabetes. Who should take Amiclear? Anyone looking to lower their blood sugar to healthy levels. It doesn't matter if you had diabetes for 1 month, 1 year, or 30 years. If you're a man or a woman, you can naturally reverse your diabetes with the help of Amiclear, even in just a few weeks of taking it daily. Is there a money-back guarantee? In fact, there are 3 money-back guarantees. Remember the 3 questions I mentioned earlier? If you don't get a yes on all of them, I'll refund every penny of your investment pronto. And you don't even need to return the bottles. Consider them a gift and we'll part ways as friends. Don't you feel more confident when you know there's nothing to lose and everything to gain? So go ahead and choose the 6-pack, our most popular option, or any option that fits you below right now. Is this a one-time payment or will I be rebilled? All of the options below are one-time only. I'm against shady marketing tactics, the kind the medical industrial complex uses. So you will never be billed without being notified very clearly. How long will Amiclear be available? Hard to say. Like I mentioned before, I believe in my mission of spreading the good fortune that came upon me when I discovered this diabetes reversing formula. However, this presentation is ruffling a lot of feathers in the medical establishment, and they would love nothing more than to pull the rug from under my feet and make Amiclear disappear for good. So between the fact that some corporate swines are plotting my demise behind closed doors, and the fact that each bottle of Amiclear can take at least 3 months to manufacture, I simply cannot guarantee that you will find any Amiclear left in stock if you come back later. That is if the presentation is still up by then. So it's vital you get your own stock of Amiclear right now. Simply select the best discount pack like the 90-day or 100-day options from the options below.